Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Yal, and the War Within expansion is launching in less than a week, with some of you guys joining in for the early launch on the 22nd or the official launch on the 26th. And with the launch so soon, right now is the best time to prepare to make sure you have a strong head start with the launch of a new chapter of World of Warcraft, the World Soul Saga. But also, certain rewards that are currently available will actually be no longer made available around the time the expansion launches. So this video is essentially going to be a checklist of everything you should probably take care of this week starting now before we travel to the undiscovered lands of Kaz Algar. Because the expansion is launched so soon, I want to get into this list as soon as possible. So as always, if you guys want to see more regular War Within updates like these, be sure to follow the channel and subscribe. Otherwise, let's dive right in. The number one thing you should probably start doing right now is cleaning out your bags, especially if you're looking to play multiple characters. Having a clean bag going into the next expansion is crucial, and I don't just mean just your bag space specifically, reagent bag and the normal bags, but also your bank inventory as well as reagent inventory. Right now is the best time to set all of your characters in the best position so you can start leveling in War Within, not have to stop to sell all your goods or deposit things too much, or just basically have everything set up in such a way where the entire process of gathering supplies and using them later is completely automated. So cleaning out bags, reagent banks, which actually sell quite well on the auction house right now. All of those items, the herbs from the expansion of Dragonflight, for some reason are selling, and I've been able to make a little bit of gold to then deposit over into the Warbound Bank for all my alts to share, and it's quite a bit of gold on the side as well. It's really not that bad. On top of it, if you're not utilizing the Warbound banking system, you are probably doing this wrong completely, because this thing is a godsend. The Warbound Bank is our inventory slots that all of your alts can share. And you can even customize them quite a bit as long as you have some gold to buy additional slots. Or if you right click any of the tabs, you can customize them with a name. You can select what items go into them, and I have a specific section for professions specifically. If I deposit all of my Warbound items, all of my herbs, mining ore, skins on a leatherworker, herbalist, or a miner, all of those items will go here in my Warbound bank slots. And then my other alts can utilize those raw materials to craft items with leatherworking or create weapons with blacksmithing, and then utilize all these items through different professions. So one character can do a lot of the harvesting, while another character can use those items directly from the Warbound bank to craft stuff immediately. And all you have to do is stop by a bank, deposit all of your Warbound items, and then you're off to continue leveling in the new expansion. And then later down the line, you come along, level another character, and you want to do some profession working, you can immediately jump into profession, not have to manage your inventory or get reagents yourself. All of those things are there, and all of that progress and effort was already done on one character, so then you can continue advancing on another character entirely. Although if you do look at my character's items, you will see that the bags are not completely empty. I do want to make sure I have at least a weapon, and I probably should boost it up with item level a little bit for if I want to play Beast Mastery or Marksmanship. But then you'll also notice we have a bunch of reagents, consumables, and things that I can utilize during my leveling journey. Flasks from current expansion are still going to be pretty solid. It's a bit of a decent secondary stat gain, especially as your character is going to be getting specific or randomized stats more or less as you start replacing all of your gear. You can't really control over best secondary stats, so you just buying a flask with the stats that you need can be helpful. Having your weapon imbued with a Howling Rune or any kind of rune for best secondary stats, especially if you got a really high item level weapon that you're not looking to replace for a very long while, that could also help go along the way in terms of overall increasing your damage, which increases your questing efficiency. Then for mobility, we have things such as gun shoes as well as Goblin Glider Kit. We are going to be able to skyride in the next expansion, so flying is essentially going to be your number one way to traverse around the place. But if you're in combat, gun shoes is a faster way to escape danger or get into from one side quest to another side quest. Same thing goes for Goblin Glider Kit. Just having that extra ability to glide from one area to another, especially in super high heights, can be super helpful. Things such as Dreamwalker's healing potions also don't cost a lot on the auction house, so stocking on a handful of these can just provide you with a little bit extra overall survivability as you quest along in the new zones. Things such as Bloodlust drums are useful, like Feral Hide drums, especially if you don't have a character that has a Bloodlust available. So non-mages, non-evokers, non-shamans will actually find this quite useful when encountering a tough, rare, or elite. Outfitting your mounts with light step hoof plates allows them to gain additional grounded movement speed. Like I said earlier, you are most likely going to be flying around everywhere, but for the moments where you are grounded, having a little bit extra movement speed does allow you to get from one quest to the next. And if you are upgraded far enough with the repetition with your guild, you will be able to buy battle standards or coordination, which can be used if you are leveling in a party. Let's say you're going through a area that has a bonus objective where your party is going to be stick around that objective for a while. Dropping down battle coordination in a enemy rich area will allow everybody to gain additional experience, which will cut down some of that experience overall gain that you need in order to reach max level. So buying up some of these consumables, especially before the prices start to really rise up as everybody tries to get their last second scramble for all of these things, buy them while the prices are very cheap and get all of your characters set up ahead of time so you don't have to worry about it too much. Now, another thing you should probably do is log out in the Legion version of Dalaran, because this is where it seems that we're going to be able to start our primary initial quest line in order to get into the actual zones of the War Within, based on some of the beta testing that we've done recently. So if you want to get your characters parked out anywhere, just park them at Dalaran if you are not planning to log in until the expansion launches here, either during the early access or during the official launch period. So if anything, your character is already there and ready to start questing immediately. Before the event is gone, you should definitely finish out the Radiant Echoes pre-patch event, which is one fantastic for gearing any alts. So if you got yourself a monk that you want to now level for the next expansion, or a death knight, or a mage, or a hunter, or a shaman, or any of the classes that have gotten a significant amount of changes over on the beta, or maybe you're excited just to play some of the hero spec plus class combinations from max level, then you should definitely get some characters leveled right now, because Radiant Echoes is incredibly efficient. You also have plenty of different collectibles to gain from Radiant Echoes, such as a mount, which is available one version for Alliance, one version for Horde, 3 different pets, as well as a variety of armors that can be used in order to help you level, or you could just use them as transmog. So might as well get that out of the way, because I don't think Radiant Echoes or the way to regain that currency again is most likely coming back up until a later point into the expansion. And you basically only have 1 day left to finish out all of your Mists of Pandaria remix activities. You got a very limited time window on this one specifically. Recently, I did a video on how to do everything you need in order to get all of the unique rewards for Mists of Pandaria remix, so I have that link down in the description of this video. But remix is ending soon. Get all of the rewards right now, because a lot of these rewards, majority of them, the unique ones in particular, are going to be completely gone, never to return until maybe at some point in the near future, or maybe someone will show up on like trading posts or something, but nothing has been confirmed as of right now about Blizz themselves. Now, for some of the rewards that are currently earnable but will be going away once the War Within officially launches, Awakened Raid rewards is going to be one of those things. Like, for example, the mount for defeating all of the different bosses on normal difficulty. Specifically, the mount being the Voyaging Wilderwing. This mount is available for defeating every single boss on the most basic of basic difficulties, and this is one of the easier mounts to earn. Some of the other rewards are going to be a title of Awakened Hero for defeating all of the bosses on Heroic, and portals to all 3 of these raid locations if you defeat all of these bosses on Mythic difficulty. So if you're really close to finishing on Heroic or even Mythic, right now both difficulties are much softer than their initial versions, so if you're looking to finish it up, this is literally your last week. Now, another set of rewards that are going away are going to be the Mythic Plus rewards, specifically the Draconic title for earning 1500 score within Mythic Plus difficulty, the Infinite Armorado amount, which is earned by earning KSM, Keystone Master, or 2000 points for a given season, but also portals for every single one of the original Dragonflight raids, which are part of this current season. All of those are going to be going away once the expansion official launches. To get the portals, you have to complete any of these dungeons on a +10 difficulty, which is also quite easy to do right now, with all the content much easier to really get into, as long as you have a fairly decently geared character. Now, another Season 4 activity that you'll probably want to get squared away with as soon as possible is some of the different Season 4 Bullion rewards. For example, Bullion can be utilized in order to buy some of the end game gear, but with the expansion approaching so soon, there's a good chance that buying stuff now, unless you already have a full set of gear, having to gear up a character and boosting all these items is maybe not as efficient. So another thing you can spend your bullions on, however, is some of the more cosmetic rewards from the Infinite Importer. like the Jiggleworth Senior Mount, a mount available back from Shadowlands, but brought back in for the Awakened rating. This one will set you back 3 antique Bullions. Then you have a variety of different cosmetic items from all the raids of Dragonflight. These are going to come from the different difficulties of each raid tier, from the LFR, normal, heroic, and mythic, and all of these cost 1 bullion. So if you have some bullion left over, I'm not exactly sure what they're gonna do with the bullion, but this vendor is here only for season 4, so make sure to spend them as soon as possible before the season 4 is technically gone with the release of the War Within. Now, another vendor that's going to be going away very soon, not exactly with the release of the War Within, but a little bit shortly after, is the bonus NPC that they added to the Black Market Auctioneer. The Black Market located kind of off the edge of the Obsidian Enclave, and inside you'll have a vendor that has a few items that you can be purchased for raw gold. This is essentially a gold sink vendor that allows you to just spend exorbitant amounts of gold in order to get things such as mounts, as well as a variety of different weapons and even armor cosmetics. Now, technically, the vendor does not go away with the release of the expansion, but they do go away at the end of August. But the expansion launches at the end of August, and there's a good chance you're going to be spending all of your time leveling alts, gearing your characters in. I don't know if any of you are going to have enough time to go back to all the Dragonflight zones to buy up all these items last minute, so might as well get it out of the way so you can just enjoy the new expansion once it's finally here. Lastly, very similar to the Black Market Auction House vendor, we have the Trading Post. Also, just like the vendor in the Black Market Auction House, all of these items are not necessarily linked to the War Within expansion, but the rotation of the Trading Post will be switching by the beginning of September 1st, and around that time is when we'll be getting the new expansion. If you're just going back to the game right now, Trading Post is essentially a way for players to be able to get a variety of different cosmetics by doing in-game activities. You'll find the set of activities in the Adventurer's Journal, where you have the Trading Post Journal specifically, and it gives you a bunch of different tasks that you can complete during the currency of Trader's Tender, which you can then exchange over at the Trader's Post in order to buy those cosmetics. But it's also a good idea to hold on to the currency. Like, if nothing in the current set of items in the Trading Post strikes your fancy and you don't really want to spend the currency now, you can hold on to it and then have that currency carry over into the next month, so you can buy some of those goodies from the next upcoming month, which is going to be after the expansion launches. And with that, that wraps up the entire checklist of everything you should get done before War Within launches. As always, I do want to thank all of you guys so much for watching this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did enjoy the video or found it informative, go ahead and give it a like. I would very much appreciate it. It helps the channel reach out a wider audience in the YouTube algorithm. Also, join our Discord community, a great place for you to ask questions and get some answers, or hit me up directly if you got any questions whatsoever. Also, let me know all your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see all of you guys in the next one.